Welcome back to your Week News, his Campaign Central. Our complete team coverage continues this morning as political expert Dr. Bart Rossi live in the studio to talk about what it means here going into the final day of the RNC. Good to have you on. We've been talking to you all week long. I want to say we do appreciate you coming in and chatting about this. All right, diving into this, we're thinking about last night. We've been covering this all day. A lot of things happened. Biggest thing, Ted Cruz coming out, essentially not backing the Republican nominee here. Wise move, bad move, what is he thinking?
Well, it's hard to say what he's thinking, but I can tell you very clearly it's underhanded, manipulative, deceitful, actually. And those are just my words. The words that the Republicans are using probably are more severe than that. Yeah. So really, I think he's trying to separate himself from the Republican Party again. And he's also saying Trump's not going to win. Look at me. I'm the person, I'm the guy. Very egotistical, very narcissistic, but that's the Ted Cruz that you're seeing. And my question really is, you know, where is the Republican Party going to go with him? I think that's something we could talk about.
Definitely. I do want to dive a little bit into that with you because essentially, you know, to face facts about this is a convention. Donald Trump indeed is the Republican nominee. This isn't a primary, but yet he stepped up there, essentially backtracking where the GOP is now. That's his party. Is this okay? What do you think the GOP thinks of this?
Well, the GOP gave him time, almost half an hour on prime time, and then he subverted the whole process. So they have to be very angry, and I'm wondering if they're not going to try to do something to knock him out. He has another run at the Senate. Maybe they could do something in Texas to have a very great personality appear and go against him and try to knock him out of the box, because I think most of the Republican leaders don't like him. And at this point, he's a problem for the GOP. I give the Trump campaign a lot of positives for trying to go for unity, and then he does this.
Yeah, it definitely stood out. Okay, how did Donald Trump handle this when we saw at one point he kind of just went out and noted, like, hey, I hear you loud and clear. He went on Twitter and said, here's Ted again, doing what he does, essentially. Is Trump handling this correctly?
I think he is, actually, because he's very good at deflecting. He's very good at being the Donald. He seems to be able to bounce everything off of him. And he's probably going to spin this or twist this a little bit and maybe even make himself look good. Saying, look, I'm the Donald, I'm the real outsider, this guy's a problem, you know.
I'm going to throw you a curveball real quick, because this just popped in my head, but we talk about Ted Cruz saying, vote your conscience. Then there's a tweet that comes out by Hillary Clinton, says, vote your conscience, and then she, you know, is self-promoting herself. Did she simply piggyback off of what he said, of what Cruz said? Is that what is happening here? Could that be what's happening here?
Well, I think she's just trying to be active, getting into the mix, trying to prepare for next week. It's going to be their show, and she's probably playing her cards well. I mean, she's picking up off of something that Cruz should never have done. So, you know, it's good for her to probably do that.
Well, it's always good to hear you on this one. Okay, we're looking ahead today. Final day here. A lot of big things happening. Trump is set to speak. What can we expect, Dr. Rossi?
Trump has made it this far by being the authoritarian personality, the boss, the champion, the guy who's not afraid to smack down or put down anybody. I don't see him changing that personality. I wouldn't advise him to change. He made it this far with that. And I'm thinking that he believes that personality is actually going to be the winning personality in this election. I think there's a lot of problems, perhaps, with that thinking. But nonetheless, he believes that, I think, and we're going to see more of that tonight.
Dr. Rossi, thanks so much for coming on. Always good to hear your thoughts on this one here. All right, stay with us, folks. Opening bell just minutes.